Hi, all. I know people are getting ready to come in. Good evening. At least where I am, good evening. People are popping in. I'm going to wait a minute. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. This is a good topic. It's an important topic. I know some of you are still connecting. All right, a couple more people look like they're trying to pop in, so I'm going to give it just a minute. Hi, good evening. I don't think I have any of my Australia folks because otherwise it's Friday morning for you. But for us here in the States, it is currently Thursday evening, Thursday afternoon, if you're one of my West Coast folks. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. There might be some other people popping in. For those of you who are used to taking classes with me, if you're wondering why you can't unmute yourself to say hello, because I usually really like that. Hold on, more people are popping in. And or if you're like, wait, this is very weird. I can't even do my video. In a little while, I will access the chat, or I will let you all access the chat again. But for this topic, which is 5 ways to stay peaceful, positive, and empowered throughout the whole, throughout the election. But it's not just throughout the election, it's really anytime there's something that's kind of really super meaningful to you that feels like a high stress or high stakes. These five um, These five practices are awesome. And hold on, as more people are popping in, I'm going to see if there's a way. Not yet. All right. So, my name is Dr. Darcy Lord, and I'm a self love expert. And I've also been a stress reduction educator for years and years. If you kind of wonder, there's more and more people popping in. If any part of you goes like this, why would a self-love expert be doing, this kind of topic? Here is kind of the big juicy piece. And the big juicy piece is the first principle for self-love practice is we've got to care about how we feel. In order to get the things we want to get in our life or get rid of the things we want to get rid of in our life, as the power in our own world, we have to care about how we feel. So, sort of in a nutshell, welcome. I know people are just kind of popping in right now. So, as you're kind of popping in and as you've been hearing me say these other things, here's what I want to say. The whole nutshell of these 5 processes or 5 practices to use. Whoop, all sorts of things. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to turn some things off. The big nutshell is, it's hard when you really care about something to be the powerful creator that you are, to live as your beautiful human self, but in your spiritually aligned empowerment. You caring about how you feel more than you caring about being right. And I know it's really hard when you know you're right, whatever all that means. So, kind of go through this class with that, like, if I'm right versus if I'm peaceful and creative and empowered. And that's kind of the nutshell. So, I'm in a couple of minutes, just so you all know, in a couple of minutes, I am going to enable the chat. As some of you know, if people have been with me, and some of you have, Zoom bombing is a real thing. And even though it kind of got toned down for a while, this is such a perfect topic. If I wanted to tease or be playful or be mean, or Zoom calls them people acting as bad agents. If I were in the mood to be ornery, yeah, or let's say I was mad and I wanted to do it, or if I was just like, I just want to have some fun and I want to mess with some people, isn't this the perfect topic to come in and do that? So I disabled chat and disabled your videos for a little, just for a little bit, until I'm sure that the people who are here, and I know many of you, but not all of you. So hi, until I'm sure that everybody who is here really does want to be here for this. So, on that note, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about me. As I told you, I'm a self love expert. My doctorate is from Ohio State in the mind body connection. So, it's so much about living and being in the body and being able to access your ability and your willingness to treat yourself really kindly. And so to be able to stay peaceful and empowered and positive, it's really not just during the election. It's just kind of the perfect, it's a perfect playing ground to do this. I want to give you these 5 pieces. And the reason I kind of do these things, and many of you know this, I kind of popped out joyful when I was in elementary school. No lie, elementary school up in Columbus, Ohio. We had researchers from Ohio State University, which is kind of fun because that's where I ended up doing my research. They came to our school and they taught us about self-talk and how we treat ourselves and how we treat ourselves and others have a huge impact on not just how we feel for the day, but honestly, we got taught about how it literally makes our life really different. And they made us wear these little signs, and some of you have heard this little story. And it's here. I'm gonna enable the chat now. Let's say, yeah, we can chat. I'm gonna pull up the chat. And it was IALAC. And that stood for I am lovable. And it's hard for me to spell. And I am lovable and capable. Isn't that cool? More people popping in. Along with being taught that, just because I was in the right place at the right time and I popped out joyful, and I think the universe was just sort of helping me to do this work. Both my parents lived with alcoholism. My mom was a chronic relapser. It was really hard for her, but she was always trying to stay sober. So she would always go to counselors and she would always go to AA meetings. And I have 3 older sisters, so we would all go with her as little girls, and we'd go to the open meetings and we'd sit with our little legs crossed. And I'd be like, I think my sisters just were like, trying to find ways to not be bored. But I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I could feel the positiveness of it. I could feel the spirituality of it. And then Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay, which are kind of old school, new thought, positive empowerment, practical spirituality sorts of people. So I started way back then, and I love these things. And so this is my disclaimer. I'm just gonna give you a disclaimer. What I'm gonna say to you tonight will most likely, because you found this, it will most likely make sense to your brain, to your mental body. But I will let you know that it is not easy, because when we're attached to something, so I'm just giving you that. These things are not easy, but I want you to play in them. And here's why I want you to play with them. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to have a life that you love, honestly. And I want, in your little email and in the Eventbrite thing, one of the things it said is, this program is going to challenge you to be the captain of your thoughts. It's not easy, but if you're willing to do that and put the things into practice, you'll not only raise your own vibration enough to hold your own alignment. That's really important. But you'll also positively impact the election. What? On an energetic level. And then here was my little piece. It may sound like a tall order, but the reason it's not is because energies, thoughts, emotions, intentions, frequencies. I stuck in visualizations, even though quantum physics doesn't talk about visualizations, but also vibrations. You guys, they're stronger. They're much more powerful than the physical manifestations we've already seen. And quantum science has been talking about this for a long time. Now that the chat is enabled, How many of you heard, you can either give me a yes or a Y or a thumbs up or something. How many of you have heard that on the energetic level, if it was possible for us to stop the vibration, the movement of our cells, not selves, all the little doodads, all my little baby cells. How many of you have heard that we're actually like more than, but I'll say 99% empty space if we could stop the vibration? I'm really looking to see if anybody's yes, no. How many of you have heard of that? Hi, Kimberly. I didn't see you there. I'm looking to see if anybody else. Oh, no. Oh, this is awesome then. Okay. Well, obviously, I don't look like empty space, nor do I look like energy. We're form, but we're also energy. It's a really big deal. Hold that gentle awareness tonight when I give you these, when I give you these five. I want to make sure that I kind of give you everything that I said that I'm going to give you. And here is kind of a for your brain, to hold on to with an election specifically, but also with any other kind of like challenging situation or something where you have high stakes in it. There are very often three different roles you can play or three things you can do or not do. And I'm going to type these in. And the reason I want you to hear that I'm saying this is so that you don't leave like, oh God, she's just talking about energy. Energy is actually more potent and more powerful than we think it is, but we also live in human bodies. So for this election, because I'm going to talk about it, and for everything, you could, and these are not in order of importance, but it's important. It's in line with what your brain goes, yeah, that one. The first thing we can do is action. Please go vote. Please go vote. But there's other actions. If you're like, no, seriously, I don't just want to play around in this energy field, then you could make calls for your side. You could write letters. I mean, it's too kind of, late for the election on that, but write letters to your senators or your representatives. You could, host a gathering of trying to explain to people or trying to love on people to get them to understand why your side is beneficial. So there's action, and that's a real thing. I know it's a real thing. The second thing you can do is money. You can give money. You can go find whoever it is, whatever side that you go, oh, I give money often to like places of research. I definitely give money during the elections to the people and sides that I go, yes. I, I love you all. I'm not going to talk about any of the humans or any of the issues. I'm really not. But you can give money. And if you're like, I don't have any money to give, well, sometimes I give $10 or three for real. Sometimes I've given more. But if you're like, I can't do that, then here's the other piece, and it's why we're here tonight, because there is so much power in this. And it's number three, and that is to be, there's different titles for it, but I'm going to say an energy or a vibration holder. That is a real thing. Look at me. It is a real thing. If you have ever walked into a room and you're like, what was going on here? That felt horrible. And it was like a meeting just got out or a bunch of people, and you're like, oh, you can feel people had been fighting or bickering. You are a gigantic presence of light and love. You are. All of us on the planet right now, whether you remember it or not, you're a light worker, you're an uplifter. It's why we're on the planet right now. Even if you're like, well, that's not true for everybody. If you're on the planet right now, my belief is you have some call or intention to kind of wake up energetically and vibrationally. If you're around people who blow off the energy vibration holder thing, I really want you to know that there is science on the fact that we can shift other people's field of consciousness. That's not what this whole class is. I'm not going to talk about the science, the Institute of Heart Math. Some of you know about them. You could go look that up. There's lots of ways you can look up, like, is it possible that me holding a vibration can be helpful? But you already know that you can, because if you've ever been around someone who is in a really, kind of a bad space, sorry, I'm letting people in. If you've ever been with someone who you love, especially, but anybody really, who's having a really bad way, they're just stressed and they feel crappy. If you yourself are able to stay aligned, whatever those words are to you, in the flow of ease or peacefulness, or knowing that they're okay. That's why grandparents, grandmas especially, it's why they can, kind of hold our space for us. It matters a great deal for you to hold your own alignment. As a self-love expert, I want you to care about that, just because if you can get through this, the rest of these couple of weeks, and if your person doesn't win for the next, 3 months after that, or dare I say 4 years, I want you right now to pick the belief that how you feel matters. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you're at least tracking to this. Like, oh, because the reason we do things, you guys, is because, oh, now I'm going to turn on your, hold on. Now I'm going to turn on your, y'all can start your video if you want. So at least maybe I can give you or you can give me sort of thumbs up, or you can put it in the chat. You feeling at your best, you feeling peaceful and joyful and empowered, no matter what's going on, is the biggest gift you can give, not only yourself, but literally to a world that desperately needs to remember that we are spiritual masters in training. And one of the ways you put that into practice is to access your own emotions and thoughts on demand. Okay, there's kind of my sell into that. Thank you. Okay, so I got a couple. Oh, and by the way, if you're like, I'm interested in talking, but I don't want to talk to all the people to see, you can, if you click on where it says down in the chat in the bottom right, it says right now to everyone, you can click and you can say it just to me. You can say just to, where am I? I don't see where it says, because I can't send my own thing privately, but you can send it privately to me. I'm Darcy. All right. On that note, let's do what I would love for you to have the ability, and know you have the ability to do anytime. One of the things I said you're going to do is have the ability to hold your center no matter what's going on. There's several different techniques that I teach and that I use. Just so you know, I use these things. I use them a lot. So the first one is to just do some balanced breathing. There's science behind what happens when you inhale as you speed up your heart rate. I know some of you know this. When you exhale, you slow down your heart rate. So when you do 4 counts in and 4 counts out, and you just keep it like that, you literally put your nervous system into what's called physiological coherence. Listen, this is real. The next time you see somebody with a sign that makes you go, or a commercial, or anything about the election, or even other things that matter to you, right then and there, with your eyes wide open so people don't, think, what is she doing? What's he doing? I want you to do 3 balanced breaths, 4 counts in and 4 counts out. Keep your eyes wide open, even though it feels good to relax and sink in. I want you to be able to do this while you're driving. And why would you do this? Because I want you to care about how you feel. That's the first principle for self-love practice. We're going to go back to that the whole evening. Take a big breath. Exhale out. And I want you to visualize right now. What? I want you to visualize that other sign. Or I want you to visualize a commercial that you're like, that's just not true. just false information. Oh my God. Or I want you to visualize somebody talking about whatever is key to you, like the environment, but on the other side, women's either bodies or rights or whatever is on the other side, as if somebody's really talking about that, like, yeah. And you feel yourself be like, what is wrong with you? Everybody, is anybody tracking to this? I'm not the only one. I know this. Ready? Do it with me. And inhale and exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. And in and out. Anyone can do balanced breathing, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how stressed, no matter how sad, no matter how unhopeful, no matter how incredulous. Now, I'm not counting for you because I really want you to know that you can keep your center of calm. Now, this isn't some magic floofy thing. I love magic floofy things, but this is not one of those. When you feel yourself, how many, give me a yes, give me a something. How many of you can feel when you get all tense and stressed? Or when you can feel yourself be pissed or uncomfortable or, yep, yeah, I really want to know. Keep going if you're like, yeah, of course, Darcy. 3 people. I'll go with that. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yep. There's people popping in with everybody into me. Okay. The next time, and I'm not kidding, if you're going to watch the kind of election piece, or if you're just going to do your voting, yeah. Yes. Somebody just said that so stressed, either so stressed or stressed at whatever level so often. And there is truth to that. And this person says that maybe it's the new normal. Did you know that that really does happen? Your nervous system like goes, okay, that's what's happening. That's why this balanced breathing thing is brilliant, because when you put your heart rate going up and then down and you shift your nervous system into balance, sympathetic, parasympathetic. Did you know even just like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, not even much of that, but a few times through the day, do you know your brain and your nervous system will literally start to rewire and go, oh, I recognize this. So the next time when you're mad or stressed or scared, or you just go, sometimes it doesn't happen a lot, but it sometimes happens where I can't feel why I'm stressed. It just all of a sudden I'm like, for me, if I'm stressed, I feel it in my solar plexus, or I feel my shoulders tight, or something just feels like, what's going on? You don't even have to know why, but I'm going to not count. Are you ready? I'm going to count one more time and then you're going to do it. Do this balanced breathing thing. Ready and go. And inhale and exhale. I love music, so my little toes going. And to a rhythm, in, out, and in and out. Do 3 more on your own without me counting. You just got upset. You're just feeling sad. You're feeling mad. You see the thing. You hear something. Pretend that you care about how you feel. And ready? As if we're all in a meeting. Ready and go. You could even look around. If you never see me again, if you never come to another program of mine, I'm really asking that you take this balanced breathing thing and you use it. It is one of the most loving, most kind things you can do for yourself, because instead of waiting until it's better, whatever it is, you can shift in the middle. And here's a big thing, you guys. The reason I want my candidate to win The reason you want your candidate to win is because there's something that goes, oh, I'll feel relief, or I'll feel better, or things will be better, or they won't kill the planet, or they won't make everybody be unempowered. I'm trying to think of kind of both, like the whole thing is we want to feel better. And we truly believe that the one side will not help with that, and the one side could or will help with that. So, a big piece of this class, and I'm not here tonight to talk you into it. Sometimes I do programs where I help talk you into it. You are a powerful spiritual being having a human experience, but you're not a human being with only a little bit of your spirituality. You are a powerful human being with an even greater, huger, powerful spiritual. That's your essence. So a piece of this is going, what I do as this just individual can literally make a difference to my own world, but also to other people. And that Institute of Heart Math that I told you, by the way, so this, I said I wasn't going to sell you on it, but I'm just going to tell you this one thing because it's fascinating. Science can now measure the field around us, the field of consciousness around us. Do you know that before the 9/11 terrorist attacks actually hit, before it happened, there was a shift in the field because they have these ways to measure and they have them all over the planet, not just in the US. So I want you to know that when you feel like I'm just a person, you're not just a person. You're a human. You are a person, but you are way more empowered than you think you are. And when you learn to hold your center and when you decide that you are worth it to care about how you feel, you're going to be able to use these 5 principles in any situation. Let me see if there's anything before the 5. I told you I was going to give you a magic phrase that'll unhook you from thinking, oh yeah, that someone else can cause you, cause your experiences. Here we go. We're doing the 5 processes now. The 5 practices or the 5 ways you can help keep your own peace and positivity and empoweredness. Number 1 says, ready? Be willing to believe that nobody can insert an experience into your life. Well, that's just BS, Darcy. If somebody pulls in front of me and slams on their brakes, I didn't do that. The whole program tonight isn't on telling you and explaining and why you actually are a powerful creator of your experiences. I'm not going to try to sell you on that. I'm going to ask you to be willing and feel in your heart how this feels. If you want to take this much empowerment, I want you to take this phrase. I did that. No matter what happens. Ooh, I did that. This is for, I'll say process, I'll say way number 1, because that's what I called it in the thing. Way number 1, be willing, to get my words right, to believe, be willing. See, I didn't say believe it. Be willing to believe nobody can insert an experience into your life. Hold these gently. Take what you like, leave the rest, but I challenge yourself. If it's true that it's a universe of vibration, and if it's true that you're a powerful creator of your experiences, and you are, the biggest way to look at that is no matter what happens, say, I did that. And I told you I'd do this same stuff. It took my mom and I, Chris had to stay back during the hurricane because we got so locked up in leaving up 75. And I had to go, I did that. I wanted Chris and our other cats with us. I took my mom up first. It took 17 hours instead of 6. And then they gave the hotel away. All sorts of bizarre things happened. And do you know that I was doing this? I did that. I did that. And I trust that the universe is got my back. if you're like Darcy, I can't take that much responsibility. It feels too weird. It feels fake. I can't do it. Then at least say this one. I am in charge of my thoughts. Therefore, I'm in charge of the reactions I give to whatever happens to me. That makes sense? No matter what, you could say, I did that. I did that. And if you're like, no, that feels like BS. I'm not doing that one, Darcy. Then take this one. And it's this sentence. I am in charge of my thoughts and therefore of my reactions to all things that happen to me. Yeah. Way number one that you can use to stay peaceful, positive, and empowered all throughout the election is to go like this. I am willing to believe that nobody can insert an experience into my life. Because if you decided to try to believe that, or you were willing to go, God, I have had inklings, or I've read books, or I agree already that I'm a powerful spiritual being. I'm the creator of my life experiences. Then whether that person wins or this person wins, if you pull back and go, nobody can insert anything into my experience. And what you know for sure is no one can insert a thought or an emotion into your experience. So even if you're like, no, that's not true, this sucks. If that person, whoops, I want to make sure it wasn't one of y'all. Okay. Be willing to believe that nobody can insert an experience into your life, or at least into your experience of your life, of your situation. I'm a big Abraham Hicks listener. And the way she says it is because it's a law of attraction, we're bringing it in. There's no law of insertion. Nobody can do it. So when I was having my drive up there and everything looked, you guys, like comically bad, I did two things because I know that I'm a powerful creator. You all are. It just depends on if we're practicing knowing that. One is doing, I did this, I did that, I did that. But the other thing is, and this isn't part of the 5 ways, but this is an extra micro teaching. Decide to be a reverse paranoid. Decide that everything that happens, everything is for your good. Decide that life is for you, the universe, the divine, your own higher self, whatever words you like to use, that it's always for you. So, way number 1 to stay peaceful, positive, and empowered is to have this like, I'm willing to believe that nobody can insert anything into my experience. Because think about it. The reason we're all like, oh my God, that person can't win is because it feels like bad things can happen, right? Well, what about this and this? But if you go, I'm willing to be willing to believe that no one can insert anything into my experience. I told you this was going to be challenging, but it's really, really powerful. All right. I'm going to go on number 2. I'm going to look now and see if anybody has any questions. All right. Here's number 2. Oh, wait a minute. I want to give you one more. Remember how I told you that in the Eventbrite description and in your email, I said, I'm going to give you a magic phrase. It's amazing because it helps you unhook from the way I described it is help you unhook from thinking that someone else can cause you harm or discomfort or all the nastiness. I love this one. I use this all the time. Ready? Put it in little quotes. I am not holding you responsible for the way I feel. By the way, I should have prefaced this whole program with the fact that starting 8 years ago, and then not as much 4 years, but still 4 years ago, I was a big old mess. And anyone who knows me knows I'm generally pretty cool. I practice keeping my alignment. I practice taking kind, loving care of myself. So I often feel pretty good. And I was a big old mess because I was digging around through both sets of those elections, especially the first one, um, feeling like dog meat. And it felt like it was everybody else's fault. Everybody else, meaning the people on the other side. You can do this particular phrase for the election, but wait, you can do it for your body. If you're mad at your body because you're like, I'm still trying to lose weight and it's just gaining or it's just sitting there. You can do it to your money if you're feeling like I'm stressing out about money. You can do it quietly. You're not going to say it out loud to people, but to your significant other or spouses or friends or family. You could do it to coworkers, anybody that feels like they are getting in your way and they are making your life suck. Or any other things. Did I say illnesses? If there's an illness, everybody take one thing. It could be the other person's sign. I'm not nearly as hooked in. I'm like, I'm kicking butt, man. Because when I see the other signs, I'm like, I can feel myself not be nearly as like, it wasn't even mad. It was like ugly and yucky and scared and mad and sad and incredulous. I can feel that I'm not nearly as hooked in. And that's because I'm using these things that I'm giving you. So think of either the other person or a commercial or a different person, whatever state you're in, you know what I mean? That you're like, seriously, or an illness or another relationship or something that you feel like, seriously, this is bad, Darce. And it's really, I'm not making it up. It's bad. Get the one thing and kind of get it in your head for a second. And now I want you to imagine, you don't have to do this part, but it's helpful. Put it in like a sphere. So it's separate from you, like, that's that thing. You can kind of put it down or it can float around. And I want you to look at it and say, I am not holding you responsible for the way that I feel. Again, oh, I almost cried, almost makes me cry. I'm a self-love expert. You, you have to decide you care about how you feel more than being right. Because I'm validating it. It is messing up your life. It does suck. It is ridiculous. Whatever all things, your brain goes, but really? But if you decide you care about yourself even more than being right, and because we know for sure, and this is not magic, this isn't even something you have to believe. You're the only one in charge of your thoughts. I'm the only one in charge of my thoughts. It doesn't feel like I'm in charge because once they're habit, it just kind of feels like they're happening, but they're not just happening. And if they are, if they're on loop, remember how we were like, God, it feels like stress is just the new normal. The moment you take a breath or three long balanced breaths or four or six, and you go, what if there's rows and rows and people and commercials and things that are all the opposite of something that I believe in or that I hold true? Maybe I'm all about love and kindness, and maybe I'm seeing just abuse and meanness and madness. Okay. Is it valid that that's really hard and it hurts? Of course it's valid that it's hard and it hurts. Of course I'm validating it. And yet, do you want to be a master? Do you want to create your life the way you want it? Do you want to create a life you love so that you are an inspiration so that people go, what is wrong with you that you are not freaking out? How are you holding your peace? And you could just quietly know that you decided that how you feel matters and that you realize that as you are a powerful essence of peace and love and abundance and you being a captain of your ship, you literally, truly help uplift and raise the consciousness of people around you. So because of that, see that thing and just really say that I'm not holding you responsible for the way that I feel. And feel how you got to unhook. Because if Chris, I adore Chris, my significant other, but if I'm mad at him for some reason, it's easy to stay like hooked. Really? I'm not holding you responsible for the way that I feel. That means you can say, I don't like what's going on with the election, or I don't like what's going on with that law or with that whatever, or my body or my money or my, okay, that's valid. Everybody say that with me, taking a breath. It's in the chat. I am not holding you responsible for the way that I feel. Say it again. I'm not holding you responsible for the way that I feel. I can even think that that thing out there sucks. I'm not holding you responsible for the way that I feel because I'm the captain of my ship. All right. Way number 2. Oh, this was really good. It's good because it's powerful. Way number 2. Say, hold on. You're right. Hold on. Gonna preface that. Hold on. Do you remember any of the other elections or now when you're looking around? Do you remember some little piece of you that's like, seriously, what is wrong with you? How could you possibly think that? How can you possibly vote that way? How can you possibly, oh my God. Right? Okay. I'm laughing, but I really want the heart's intelligence of you. I want the higher version of you to hear this. And it's not that rocket sciencey, actually. With all of the beliefs that I have grown up around, with my history, with the experiences that I have had with all the humans I have, with my level of consciousness that I have, high, low, with the amount of self-love or self-kindness I'm practicing, with all of my life experiences, my perspective is right for me. That's why I have it. When you look at a person with the other sign, I want you to, instead of what our brain, our ego wants to do, which is go, well, I'm obviously right because that's how it fits. So if I'm right and that's different, you must be wrong. But not only does that not help change their mind, but also creates havoc. It depletes you physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. So here's what I want you to do. Do you think it's possible for the person who has the other sign? Do you think it's possible that with their upbringing and with the way they were raised and with the beliefs they have and had and the beliefs that they were handed down from wherever they were handed down from and from their level of safety or not safety? I didn't say that one for me, but that should have been in there too. And with their level of consciousness, is it possible that it makes sense that they believe what they believe? Of course. So, not to change their mind and not to make anybody else right, but to keep, because the whole point of this class is for you to keep your own peace. I have goosebumps again. That's when the universe is talking to me. And to keep your power and to keep your positivity. Because it's insane to do it the other way, which is to go, I will not be able to be peaceful or positive or empowered unless everybody out there changes to the way I feel like they all should be. Isn't that insane and abusive to yourself? So if it's possible that with their upbringing, it makes sense what they believe, I want you, for your own sake, and because when you hold your own alignment, I'm telling you that love and kindness and ease and peace, it is stronger vibrationally. That's not floofy. That's not me just making it up. So when you see somebody or a corner of people, whoever's on the corner doing their doing, I want you to take a breath. Do it with me right now. and just say quietly or whisper it with your beliefs, with your past history, you're right. And if you feel that piece of you going, oh, hell no, that's the ego. It's your mind. It's the piece that's always forever going to make it right or wrong. We can't get to peace and prosperity and happiness and ease and our personal empowerment fighting through it. We can't. We know that. How's it working on the world right now? So your second way is to, when you see it, not saying it's right for you, yours is right for you. But like, whoa, when I first got that and that came from a meditation, I literally was like, whoa, excuse my cussing, but I do that. Like, whoa, shit. If I had the same level of wherever I was, consciousness wise, wherever I was, belief wise, wherever I was with history I've had with people and things, and wow. So, way number is 2 is just to say, okay, with where you're coming from in life, wow, you're right. How are we doing on time? All right. Number 3, we're doing this one. The other ones we talked about. There is more, listen, there is more power in this one that we're going to do than you can hold in your mind's good idea-ness. I want you to think about the qualities or the emotions or the attitudes or how you think you'll feel when your person wins. And I want you to start typing them in the chat. I don't want you to tell me which person. If I wasn't just a spiritual master in training, but if I was like one of the master teachers and I came and I went, poof, it is alighted upon, and you get your way. It is done. It is done unto you as you wanted. It's not what it says, by the way. It says it's done unto you as you believe. Ooh, which is a real bummer. That's why I'm giving you these things. What you believe matters. I want you to type in some of the ways you go, yeah, oh, of course I want that person to like win. Or okay, how would you feel? How would you feel? Relief. These are mine, but yes, yes, right. Oh, a bunch of people. Love. Um, Hopefulness. Ease. Come on, type them in, you guys. Really. And if you go, I can't figure it out. You're you are a powerful spiritual creator. It matters energetically what you're doing. I want you to pick one word or pick a million of them, whatever. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Elated. Yeah. I'm happy. Oops. Oh man, my typing. I'm asking you, keep putting them in. Yeah. Faith. Or that like, yeah, faith. Joy. Good God. Light. Lightness of being. I think I'll almost feel giddy, like, oh, proud. Um, Good in my soul. Oh, right with my soul. Woo, yeah. Yes, relieved. Okay. Okay, are you ready? This is a practice that will help you feel better. But look for a second. But it is not just a practice that will help you feel better. This is the piece when I said it is possible to help shift vibrationally things. There does not have to be that many humans aligned and in the flow of whatever feels like positive emotions to literally start shifting the consciousness of the planet. That's a whole nother program, but it's real. Now, notice that we're not saying who the person is. On that note, another one is powerful, like empowered. beautiful. Okay. Here's what I'd like everybody to do, because here, the third way to hold your own peace and positivity and being empowered through the election. The third way, and I'm going to read the words. Practice the qualities that you think you'll feel or that you'd want to feel if your person wins, or if your illness is gone, or if your money straightens out, or if your humans straighten out. It doesn't have to be the election, but that's what you're here for. So it can absolutely be that. Practice the qualities you think you'll feel for 2 to 5 minutes every day. So the question is, what qualities will you experience if, when your human wins? We're going to set this alarm for 2 minutes. Are you ready? What? How am I supposed to practice that, Darcy? Taking a big breath. Everybody pick one of those qualities. And I want you to pretend like it's 10 or 15 or 20 years from now. And you're telling somebody, man, I cared so much about this election. And the person that I really, really wanted to, they won. And I could feel I'm going to read all these. Try to go with me here. Try to get to one of these feelings. I felt so relieved. Oh, the relief was awesome. Everybody right now, take a big breath in. Exhale out. And now on the inhale, imagine drawing in relief into every cell. Inhale. And on the exhale, imagine you could ooze it through your whole body. Next one, inhale love. We're going to go through everybody's words. Imagine love going into your body. Exhale as if it could just ooze and wander through all of your cells. And you're telling these people, you're like, it mattered so much. Oh my God, it got a little scary. But I learned how to hold my center, and maybe or maybe not, but I actually think that this group of us kind of holding to what we actually cared about it might have actually helped shift the energy field. Hopefulness, ease. Take an inhale. What would hopefulness or ease feel like? What is elated? How does that feel? How would that feel in your cells? The 2 minutes is done. Faith in your fellow citizens restored. Really, what would that feel like if you're like, way to go, you? You're doing the best you can. I'm doing the best I can. We're actually shifting things. We're kind of slow sometimes, but more good is happening. It is. Happy, joyful, lightness of being, giddy. Proud, whoo, relief, relieved, right with your soul, empowered. People can do this. Okay. Can you feel how because your brain works like a single processor, when you shift it to what you want to feel, literally the system starts to participate. Remember how I started this program is, and unless you care about how you feel, you're probably not going to do any of these because they're challenging. But what if you did care about how you felt? And when the negative committee goes, well, this is just stupid. It's not going to change it. Do you see that? Do you see that? And oh my God, I live in a state that's such and such, or I live in a state that. But if I care about how I feel, and if you're going to try these just till, after the election, or maybe the year after that, or 4, or just a bask in celebration, or to have compassion and ease. 2 minutes. That's really all it takes. If you really want to be really juicy with this one, this number 3. Did I write it out yet? I don't think I did. Way number 3. Let me look. Way number 3. Practice the qualities, emotions, attitudes for 2 to 5. 2 to 3 is really good enough. Minutes that you think you'll have if when your human wins. All right. We're doing good. I've got you till 8:15 or till 15 after the hour. Oh, this one's short, but I'll talk to your heart a little bit. And it goes like this. Number 4, way number 4. I'll type it as I'm saying this. Way number 4 is to remember that everyone just wants to feel safe and loved, including you, including me, including all the cool people who have the signs that you want, including the uncool people who have the signs that you don't want. Everybody wants to feel safe and loved. So right now, put your hand on your heart. Taking a nice long inhale. Exhale all the way out. And I want you to simply take these words in as if they're your own. It's hard when I feel stress about this election or anything else that matters to me. I want you to really notice that. It's hard when we feel stress. No matter how strong you are, no matter how old or young or female or male you are, it's hard. It's hard to feel stress about the election or anything that really matters to me. Oh. At times, pain or suffering is part of life for me and for everyone. For me and for everyone. Those people I agree with and those people I don't agree with. It is the human experience to sometimes feel pain and suffering and yuck and stress. Ugh. So now here's what I want you to say. Put your hand on your heart if you feel comfortable doing it. You can keep your eyes open or closed. It's all good. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I give myself the compassion that I need. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I give myself the compassion that I need. You guys, every time you feel yucky, every time when you're stressed, when you're mad, when you're sad or you're scared or you're anxious or you feel hopeless or you feel like I'm just stressed all the time. I'm so on, I just don't even know what to do. I want you to go, that feeling yucky? That's just evidence that I want to feel safe and loved. Of course, I want to feel safe and loved. Everybody wants to feel safe and loved. Really, even the people who look just whiny and unempowered, and even the people who look angry and abusive. So, the fourth way to keep your own peace and empowerment and to stay positive, maybe even joyful, is to have compassion for you and everybody. I'm better if someone looks If someone looks blatantly sad, it's much easier for me to be compassionate. But the truth is, if people are expressing as mad or bullyish or whiny or victimy, mad bully, whiny victimy, those are a little harder for me unless I really go, everybody just wants to feel safe and loved. Everyone wants to hold some empowerment. So the fourth way is to remember to have compassion. It's got to go to you first. When you're scared or sad or mad or stressed out, just decide to be kind to you. That's the whole thing about me and my self-love programs. It's huge. Compassion. And it's cool and weird when you see somebody misbehaving in any way. I want you to be like, whoa, they're not acting like they want to feel safe and loved, but it is the human condition that we all want to feel safe and loved. All right, that's way number 4. Way number 5. This is the most challenging one. I just called them ways because I called this class 5 ways to stay peaceful, positive, and empowered throughout the election. Way number 5. Decide right now to be okay. What? With whoever wins. Oh my God. Did she really say that? Do you remember how I said at the beginning? There are at least 3 ways, but 3 major ways you can make a difference in the world of elections, of kind of everything. You can take action steps. So again, please vote. The second one is, now it doesn't have to just be voting, take action. You can gather up groups for next time around. You can, I just think it's adorable. People come door to door. They're often retired, but not always. They're like, hey, we're from this party. And, I'm like, take action. You can even run for office if you want. Don't make fun. Don't laugh at it. I don't want to, but don't blow it off. Hold your own empowerment to go, what am I called to do? If not action, money. Currently on the planet, money is a gigantic form of empowerment. It can help the sides. And the third is be a vibration holder. And folks, one is not, I actually believe that this one is strongest, even though it looks in the world of form like this one is the biggest or this one. You can be a vibration holder. But here's the thing. Nothing good comes from fear or anger or hatred or indignance or there's nothing wrong with the negative emotions. There's nothing wrong with the negative emotions. We're humans, we have them all. But you can feel when they start to deplete you. The way we start to shift the consciousness of the planet is no more of this. And it's insanity that most of us have bought into, which is I can only feel better when things on the outside have changed. I can only feel better and peaceful and elated and all those things if my candidate wins, if I lose the weight, if I get the money, if I get or lose whatever the job or the relationship or the thing. To be the powerful creator that you are, because you are. Just choose to decide right now that you are not going to dive into 4 years of depletion if the other person wins. Because folks, the whole thing about this side or this side, in the highest version, don't freak out at me, in the highest version, both sides theoretically have good to them. It's kind of like that old thing, like, well, do you want time or do you want money? Well, I want both. Do you want to give the man a fish or do you want to teach him to fish? Both. If I'm starving, I want to fish, but I also want to know how to do it. Is it nature or is it nurture? It's both. It is possible that on both sides, at the highest level of vibration, good things can shift. And it's also possible that on either side, if we're in really low vibration, both things can suck. We know that because we've had this divisiveness. What if it was possible for you to go, oh, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to take actions and or I'm going to give money and or I'm going to be a vibration holder. And I'm going to choose. Now it's easier said than done. But the way we know it's possible is because we were just sitting here naming qualities. Oh, I'd feel elated. Oh, I'd feel so hopeful. Oh, I'd feel this. Oh, I'd have that. Like, I wouldn't think everybody else, are such ridiculous humans. That's not how y'all named it. You said hope or belief in the goodness of your fellow humans. What if you just did that? Because you can before you get the outcome that you want. And by the way, that happens to be the magic of manifesting anything you want, is feeling how you think you'll feel first before you get the thing. I want you to see if any of those resonate with you. And I want you to practice. And by the way, if your choice is to be a vibration holder, if when you watch things and listen to things, you cannot hold your alignment, please stop watching things and listening to things. There's no way you'll miss it, I swear. And if people go, well, that's just sticking your head in the sand. Well, did you do any of the things? Did you take any action if you're called to? Did you give any money or resources or time if you're called to? And if you're like, I can feel it. I say this to Chris all the time, and he knows. I'm like, I did my voting and I give little bits of money. But mostly my job is to vibrate at the frequency of love and well-being for all concerned. Well-being for all concerned, because I think that if we raise the consciousness of the planet enough, that both sides of any dichotomy can help benefit each other. I don't think that's what's going on right now. I'm not that Pollyanna, but I think it's possible to shift things. Oh, I'm going to let people unmute themselves. Take a minute right now. And then I'm going to see at the end if anybody has any comments or questions or ahas. And I want you to imagine the area of your heart, like a big, beautiful sphere of light. Whatever the color of love and high frequency and relief is, love and relief. And imagine love and relief expanding and expanding, moving all through your cells, moving all through your body. So big that there is this sphere of love and relief all around your whole system, your whole body. And then I want you to imagine that same sphere around the entire planet. It's just a sphere of love and relief and highest and best for all concerned. The frequency of love and relief. And now do those 3 long breaths. And as you inhale, going to imagine drawing in relief and love, or relief and ease into your body. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale and see it softening all over and through you. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, it softens all through you. Last time. And inhale, relief and love and ease. Exhale, it softens all through you. Radiate it right now as if you were in outer space, and radiate it to our glorious planet Earth. Love and relief and the highest and best for all concerned. And now take these words as your own. May I know peace. May I know kindness moving in toward me and out from me. May I be free from pain and suffering. May I be ever loving and loved. And may I live with ease. And now imagine saying to you and to all humans and all sentient beings, all the animals, even the plants, whatever version of this energy fits their experience, their expression of livingness. May we know peace. May we all know kindness moving in toward us and out from us. May we all be free from pain and suffering. May we be ever loving and loved. And may we all live with ease. Taking a nice long inhale. Exhale out. I'm going to read these 5 one last time, and I want you to just see which ones. Take them all if you want. Be willing to believe that no one can insert an experience into your life. You're in charge of your thoughts and emotions. Number 2, say to yourself, with the experiences you've lived, you're right for you. You're right when you see opposing signs. Number 3, practice those qualities that you want for 2 to 3 minutes or 2 to 5 minutes. I'm telling you, the power in that is amazing. If you do it right before bed and marinate in that, in ease and relief and playfulness and joy and power, love, light, goodness. Number 4, practice compassion, remembering that everyone, those that you agree with and those you don't agree with, those I agree with and those I don't agree with, all of us just want to feel safe and loved. We're not going about it sometimes in a very healthy way, but just remind yourself everyone wants to feel safe and loved. And number 5, decide right now, literally, you are that powerful to be okay with whatever wins. And the reason, by the way, spiritually, that's such a big deal is that thing that says what you resist persists. It's a real thing. What you fear comes upon you. So many of the people doing manifestation, we've talked about this for so long. It's that thing that you angst about. You bring it on because it's law of attraction. What I love, I draw in more of. What I rail against, I draw in more of. Because it's an inclusive universe. What I'm focused on expands. So if instead I'm like, I'm going to stay a place of power, empowerment to help people. I'm going to keep my peace when other people are stressed. I'm going to be a beacon of love and light when other people are freaking out. It is a good intention to have. All right. I love you all. I'm going to stop recording. I so appreciate that you all came. And if you're here watching virtually, I'm really, really glad you're here too. Let me stop recording.